Have you ever stopped to wonder what's really going on behind the price of your morning coffee? Or, why that new smartphone you've been eyeing costs exactly what it does? Well, it's not random. It's the world of microeconomics, this kind of hidden science that shapes pretty much every single choice you make. And today, we're going to pull back that curtain. So this is the big question, right? This is at the very heart of microeconomics. And it's not just about some abstract theory in a textbook. It's about understanding the invisible forces that set the price for everything you buy, from a gallon of gas to a ticket for your favorite band's concert. It's this constant dance between what we want and what's actually available. Okay, so what is it exactly? Well, microeconomics zooms way in, focusing on the individual players. You, me, our families, that local coffee shop down the street. It's really the opposite of macroeconomics, which looks at the whole economy. We're talking big stuff like national unemployment or inflation. Think of it this way. We're not looking at the weather report for the entire country. We're looking at the climate in your specific backyard. And at the heart of all this, really at the very core, is a problem that every single one of us faces every single day. You just can't have everything. We all have this endless list of things we want, right? But we've only got so much time, so much money, and so much energy. Microeconomics is basically the study of how we, from one person trying to budget for groceries to a huge corporation planning its next big product, make choices in a world full of limits. Right, so to really understand these choices, we have to talk about maybe the most famous, most powerful concept in all of economics. You've definitely heard the names before, but if you can truly get your head around them, it's like the key that unlocks everything else. Let's dive into supply and demand. Every single market has two key players, two sides of the story. On one side, you've got the consumers. That's us, the people who want to buy things. We are the ones creating the demand. And on the other side, you've got the producers, the businesses that are making and selling all that stuff. They're the ones creating the supply. Let's start with us, the consumers. The law of demand is something you already know deep down, even if you don't know it by name. Just think about it. Your favorite pizza place suddenly jacks up its prices by $5. You're probably going to think twice before ordering, right? Maybe you'll get it once a month instead of every week. But what if they have a 2-for-1 special? You might just buy more. It's that simple. Inverse relationship. That's the law of demand. Now, let's just flip it and look at things from the producer side. For them, a higher price is a fantastic incentive. If they can sell that pizza for more money, what are they going to do? Of course, they're going to make more of it to maximize their profit. So as the price goes up, the quantity they're willing to supply goes right up with it. So what happens when these two opposing forces, consumers wanting low prices, producers wanting high prices, meet in the marketplace? Well, they find a compromise. They find a balance. Economists call this market equilibrium. This is that magic price point where the number of pizzas producers want to sell is exactly the same as the number of pizzas consumers want to buy. The market is cleared and the price is stable. Well, at least for now. Now, that simple supply and demand model works perfectly in an ideal world. It's what economists call perfect competition. But as we all know, the real world is a lot messier. It's a lot more interesting. Markets can be structured in very, very different ways, and that dramatically changes the whole game. This spectrum is really fascinating when you look at it. On one extreme, you have perfect competition. Think of a farmer's market with tons of vendors all selling identical tomatoes. No single farmer can just decide to change the price. On the complete other end of the spectrum, you've got a monopoly, where one company has total control. And smack dab in the middle, you find the structure that defines so many of the industries we deal with every single day. And that structure is an oligopoly. So instead of thousands of competitors, or just one, you have a handful of really big players that dominate the entire market. Think about soft drinks. It's basically Coke versus Pepsi. Or think about video game consoles. It really boils down to Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft. The decisions they make have a huge impact on prices and the products we get. And then, of course, you have the monopoly, where competition just doesn't exist. One firm runs the whole show. Now, we often think of this as a bad thing, but you know what? Sometimes it's actually more efficient. Think about your local water company. It would be incredibly wasteful and crazy expensive to have 3 different companies all laying their own pipes under your street. That's what's called a natural monopoly, where the structure itself just discourages competition. So we've talked about how markets work, but microeconomics always comes back to the individual. It always comes back to you. Whether you're in a perfectly competitive market or living under a monopoly, you are constantly constantly making choices, and every single one of those choices has a hidden cost. This is honestly one of the most powerful ideas in all of economics: opportunity cost. It's not about the money you spend, it's about the opportunity you lose. It's the road not taken. See, the true cost of any decision is the value of the best thing you had to give up in order to get it.
Let's make this totally real. Imagine you're offered a choice between waffles and chocolate. You pick the waffles. Okay, what did they truly cost you? It wasn't zero. If you actually like the chocolate even more, the cost of eating those waffles was giving up the enjoyment of that chocolate. Once you start to see the world this way, it changes how you look at every single decision you make.
So, you see, these aren't just abstract theories for a classroom. These concepts, supply, demand, market structures, opportunity cost, these are powerful tools that are used every day to analyze and solve some of the world's biggest, most complex challenges. For instance, take traffic congestion in big cities. An economist would look at that and see a scarcity problem, a scarcity of road space at peak times. So, using microeconomic principles, cities have implemented things like congestion pricing, which is basically a tax for driving in busy areas at busy times. By raising the price of driving, it reduces the demand and it eases traffic. That's just one way these ideas are used to solve real, everyday problems. So the next time you face a choice, doesn't matter if it's what to study, where to live, or just what to have for dinner, don't just think about what you're getting. Ask yourself, what's the next best thing I'm giving up to get it? Because now you know that that is its true cost. And seeing that hidden cost, well, that's the first step to making better choices.